Besties, I have some gossip. Someone is stealing from you, big time. They are robbing you blind and making it so that the money in your bank account won't be able to buy nearly as much this time next year. You wanna know who it is, right? You wanna unmask this awful, evil villain and take them down, right? Well, his name is Inflation, and he's the most dastardly thing ever. Inflation is making your life more and more expensive and making your money less and less valuable over time. I'm gonna break down 4 ways that inflation manifests itself, and then I'll give you 3 easy tips to thwart it as best as we can. Because as all the Rich BFFs know, we don't play when it comes to our money. I'm Vivian, your Rich BFF and your favorite Wall Street girly, and I'm gonna teach you how to address inflation and make your money go further. Please like, comment, and subscribe to learn more about being good with your money. Let's get to it. First and foremost, classic inflation at a baseline level is pretty simple. It just generally means you'll be paying more than you previously did for the same item or service. A t-shirt that used to be $15 is now $20. Pretty simple. When the general price level rises, each unit of money buys fewer goods and services, and thus there is a reduction in the purchasing power of your money. But the second way inflation presents itself is a lot more secretive. Shrinkflation, on the other hand, happens when you pay the same amount as you were paying before, but you get less stuff. The most heinous example, Doritos. Frito-Lay just confirmed that inflation is forcing them to cut back an average of 5 chips per bag. Bags will go from weighing 9.75 ounces to 9.25 ounces, but they're staying the same price. And that little change that they're hoping you won't notice, it's gonna save them more than $50 million. Shrinkflation is often harder to spot than traditional inflation because companies don't actively announce when they change product sizing. So unless you're reading the tiny font on the front of the label, you may not even notice. But even though the packaging may stay similar, when brands give you less product but keep the price the same, you're effectively paying more. Up next, skimpflation. Skimpflation doesn't impact the price of the item or the quantity you get. Instead, it impacts the item or service itself. It's essentially when businesses keep prices the same but downgrade the quality of the item or service you receive. Here are 4 easy examples. First and foremost, clothing manufacturers may decrease quality. That 100% cashmere sweater you loved so much is now 50% cashmere and 50% wool. And it pills a lot faster. Example number 2, hotels cutting back on turn-down service or the free in-room waters. Or 3, airlines cutting back on beverages, snacks, and entertainment. And example number 4, big brands saying goodbye to free 2-day shipping and switching to longer shipping and processing times. And last but definitely not least, we need to address the most hated form of inflation possible, greedflation. With typical inflation, brands are increasing prices because they have to spend more to create their goods or provide their services. But with greedflation, companies take advantage of broader inflation and use it as an excuse to increase their prices when their specific business doesn't actually need to do so. For example, right now, as many businesses are struggling with supply chain issues, some brands that aren't struggling with the same issues are still raising their prices. And there's one industry that's particularly notorious for this behavior: gas companies. Now that we've covered different ways that inflation can present itself, what should you do to combat it? Here are 3 easy strategies. 1. Look at unit prices. If you've always compared item prices to determine which is cheaper, you should start using the per unit price. The per unit price divides the total cost by the amount, usually in ounces or grams. It's the most accurate way to compare 2 different items that may be of different size. You may be surprised with what you find when you start doing this. Most of the time, the larger item has a lower per unit price than the smaller item. However, if the smaller item is on sale, then it may be cheaper. Check the unit price every time you shop, even if you're buying the same thing you did last week. You never know when prices might change. 2. Use a cashback app or site like Ibotta. Most of us know that if we grocery shop using our credit cards, we can get points or rewards, but fewer people know that you can get the same type of benefits from affiliate networks. Brands like Ibotta get paid to drive traffic to retailers. To compel people to utilize their app so that they can get paid, they'll kick back some of that commission to you. Ibotta is awesome because not only do you get cash back from them after sending in a photo of your receipt, you can still use whatever credit card you'd normally use, so you can get points or cash back from your credit card company as well. You're gonna have to buy groceries and basic necessities, you might as well get a little something back. And 3, research costs beforehand. During periods of high inflation, businesses often raise prices without informing customers. You may not even discover a price increase until it's time to pay. To save money and watch out for various signs of inflation, you should research prices ahead of time. For example, if you're planning an evening out, look at the online menus ahead of time so you know what to expect. While inflation is making life a little bit pricier for all of us, I hope these suggestions help you make your dollars go further, and make sure to like and subscribe for more money, budgeting, and finance tips. Bye guys!